Good morning. It's Monday. This is PVRN, Puerto Vallarta Real News. Hello, Reno. You're in the house early this morning, just before I even went on. How are you doing? Hope everybody's here with us. Hope you had a good weekend. But first of all, let's get through the basics. This is Puerto Vallarta Real News. I'm your host, Brent Lane. I'm happy to see you. It is 10 a.m. on a beautiful Monday in Puerto Vallarta, and it is the 27th of April. Good morning, John. I love the crocodile image. I love that you've got that on there as our Croc Cam correspondent. Happy to have you here as well. Olive Bio? That's fine. I'm sure I know your name, but gosh, it's hard to keep up with everybody, but happy to see you. Good morning from Cartagena. Wow, I used to live in Cartagena. We lived there for about 6 months and even filmed an episode of House Hunters International. I think if you search for it, it's under Cutting Loose in Cartagena. You're going to find my wife and I on television on House Hunters International. How crazy is that? Morning, Sly. Good to see you back. Good to see everybody here. Renee, that's right. Sorry, I'll finally get it all right. Yeah, definitely see if you can find Cutting Loose in Cartagena. Good morning, lovely L3. Nice to see you. Good morning, Melissa. Nice to see you. What's that website? Oh gosh, you can find it. Don't you worry. It's a pretty funny, the Cutting Loose in Cartagena episode I've never brought up on the show before, but it's universally thought that I am a terrible, horrible human. If you watch it, they really edited me into like Darth Vader. So watch it. But if you know me, I'm not as bad as it looks. I promise you. MBER 57. Good morning. Isla Cali on the way to hike Gringo Gulch. I love that. Good morning. Good morning, Chris of the Anderson Report. I feel like I got to make the show just a little bit longer just for all the good mornings, but I love that part. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a breath. We're going to have a coffee. Cheers. I know some of you told me on Facebook you were getting your coffee ready just for that moment. I love it. Okay, let's have a look outside really quick. Here we go. Oh, it's beautiful out there. Another beautiful day, super clear out. It looks amazing. If you look really, really closely, you'll notice that that's the Disney Cruise Line. I know Melissa knows what that is. So that is good morning, Mark. Thank you. So that's the Disney Cruise Line out there today. There's another ship right behind it. Not sure what that one is, but it's nice to have the mouse in the house. And when you watch and listen to the news this morning, you're going to find out that's not the only star that's in town right now. So hint, hint, hint. Okay, so last week I told y'all I was going scuba diving this weekend. We had all these plans. We were ready to do all this fun stuff. But you might be able to tell from my voice, none of that happened. I was sick all weekend. I'm glad to feel just a little bit better today so I can have the show. But obviously with my head being stuffed up and my ears, as you can, like I said, you can hear my head stuffed up. Sick all weekend, no scuba diving. So just tell me what you guys did all weekend. I mean, I'm going to live vicariously through you. I had a very boring, didn't do much weekend. We watched some movies. We watched lots of shows. We started watching a show with Claire Danes called The Beast in Me. I think it's been out for a while. I'm a big Matthew Rise fan. I think he's great. Claire Danes not my favorite. Maybe she's yours. Tell me. I don't know. I just think she's got that quivering chin cry. Just in, like Laura, my wife, turned me onto it and said, hey, look at that quivering chin in every episode. That's such her shtick. Maybe it's not mine. But if you love that show, let's hear about it. We're about 3/4 of the way through. But again, if you had fun this weekend, bless your heart, because I had a very sick weekend, didn't get to do anything. All right, let's jump in the news. Enough about me. Let's move on. So first up, the big news. I'm sure you've seen it on social media. I'm sure you know you may or may not know all about it, but that's why I'm here. It's the blockade. So this blockade is up in Punta de Mita, and it's a major protest that has completely shut down traffic at the Higuera, there we go, Blanca Junction, leading right into Punta de Mita, and it's been there since 5 a.m. today. The protesters got out there really early. Local residents are blocking the highway to protest two major issues: the construction of the stone wall, they say, that destroys the environment at Playa La Cocinas, and the chronic lack of water in the local neighborhoods. Never good. Demonstrators are pointing out the irony of luxury resorts having unlimited water while the community's tap runs dry, and they're refusing to budge until the state authorities address these services. So you might be asking, oh my gosh, I'm heading into Punta de Mita. What do I do? Well, right now, Federal Highway 200 is currently backed up for several kilometers. The specific zero point is the intersection where La Cruz Punta de Mita Highway meets the road at Higuera Blanca. Alternate routes. There's not a great one. From what I've researched, there's no direct paved bypass for this junction. The only way to get around the closure is to head inland through the valley towards San Juan de Abajo and follow the rural roads that exit near Sayulita. But this is going to be a tough, time-consuming detour. Probably add about 90 minutes to your drive. So if you don't have to be in Punta de Mita today, you don't have to be driving up north, don't do it. Steer clear of that. So that's my hint for you. So before we move to the next story, and remember I teased some stars in town other than the mouse, I also want to remember, follow this star, follow me, follow this star, my Cowboy star for the NFL draft over the weekend. We got stars everywhere. Just take a second. Please do hit the bell over here. If you're new to the show, subscribe, turn on all your notifications, and never, ever miss a show with me. I would appreciate that. It really, really helps a lot. And I'm really pushing to get to 1,000 subscribers, but I'm almost close to the first milestone, which is 500. So just keep sharing the show and helping me out with that. I absolutely appreciate it. Also, if you need to email me about a story lead, if you have any advice for the show, you want to know something, just hit me at pvrnmx@gmail.com and I will get back to you. I'm pretty quick on getting back to you on those emails. So that's the email address for the show. Chris has a good point. Click that thumbs up button. So if you see a thumbs up button, that helps me a lot too. I appreciate it. Moving on in the news, here's the star one. You ready? Guess who's in town? He's everywhere. Yeah, he's literally everywhere. It is, boom, Pedro Pascal is in town. What? Eric, you're just dealing with issues, bro. I'm sorry you spent the first 7 minutes watching Friday's show. It was a good show. I mean, had you watched it Friday, you would have known. So there you go. All right. Pedro Pascal and Danny Ramirez are filming in Nayarit. They were there over the weekend. So the streets of Las Vegas, Nayarit, were transformed into a 1930s movie set over the weekend as stars Pedro Pascal. You know him. He's in the Grogu Star Wars movie coming up. It definitely got Laura excited. We know him from the Narcos show. Pedro's been everywhere. So he and Danny Ramirez, I don't know Danny Ramirez as well. If you know Danny Ramirez and what he was in, please shoot a comment in. I would like to know more about Danny Ramirez. He's the front guy in that shot, obviously. But they were shooting scenes for their new film, and the new film is called De Noche, and it's directed by Todd Haynes. And the movie follows the passionate, unexpected love affair between a hard-boiled Los Angeles detective, Pascal, perfect casting for him, and a younger boarding school teacher, Ramirez. As corruption overtakes 1930s LA, the two men become targets of a political machine and are forced to flee across the border. So also there's a love story in there. I think it's between the two of them, and I don't know much about it. I was pulling just a little bit, but the big news is they were here in town. If you saw Pedro Pascal, I would love to hear about it. The news might be that Eric's blind from tracking whales all day. That's an interesting story, Eric. I would love to hear more about the whale tracking. I saw your post. So super interesting stuff. So hey, if you saw Pedro Pascal, let's hear for it. Let's hear about it. And De Noche, if you got information about that, we'd love to hear about that too. Okay, over the weekend also, sorry about my voice. I'm so stuffed up. There was a bust. Narco greenhouse busted with 300 plus plants. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the sweet leaf marijuana. So state police in Zapopan uncovered a high-tech indoor marijuana plantation over the weekend in the Paseos de Sol neighborhood. The discovery happened almost by accident when officers on patrol, this is kind of humorous, maybe they were smoking when this happened, spotted the two men moving large pots outside the house with the door wide open. When the men fled, The police found an elaborate greenhouse operation inside. A formal search on Saturday confirmed the property was packed with over 300 marijuana plants in various stages of growth. In addition to the hundreds of plants, authorities seized bags of processed weed and a firearm. It seems that the growers had a massive harvest ready to go, but they managed to miss the 420 holiday we just had by exactly 1 week. A classic case of bad timing that resulted in the state dismantling a major local supply chain. Now, the suspects got away and they escaped. So they're looking for those guys. We don't know. But in the meantime, the facility has been completely dismantled. Hopefully they didn't just throw it into a bonfire and get the whole town high. So I guess in honor of 420, there you go. We had a marijuana bust. So with that, let's hear it for the marijuana bust, I guess. I'm not sure why we're cheersing that, but there you go. Again, if you're just joining, sorry about my voice. Been sick all weekend, trying to recover, but I'm getting there every day and just a little bit better. Okay, let's hit some national news. Oh, not national news yet. Let's talk about a little more local news. So here's one. This is good stuff. Cheers to the weed bust. Oh, good morning from Vegas. Hey, Lori from in Vegas. Oh, man. I just listened to a podcast last night. Thank you for saying that. I was just talking to Laura this morning over coffee about a podcast I was listening to last night, This American Life. And the podcast was all about counting cards for blackjack. You should check it out, Lori. It's actually not too hard to do. It's very interesting. And quick fun fact, did you know that counting cards is not illegal in any casino or any state in the United States? I don't know about internationally, but it's not illegal. Now, they can walk up and ask you, could you please go play something else or ban you from the casino? But you can count cards legally. And in blackjack, it's not that difficult. So tune in to, we were covering weed this morning. We're covering card counting. What does my show turn into? But check it out if you have a chance. You'll have it, it's not that hard to count and you can make a little cash. All right. Good news here. Volunteers haul in 2 tons of trash from the Pitial River. Now, this happens every year. If you pay attention to the news or see me on CBS, we talk about this every year. But it's a massive community effort over the weekend where dozens of volunteers and city workers cleared over 2 tons of garbage from a 2-kilometer stretch of the Pitial River. The cleanup is part of an urgent push to remove debris before the rainy season starts, which would otherwise wash all that waste right into Banderas Bay. Crews pull out everything from plastic bottles, old tires, large household appliances that have been illegally dumped on the riverbanks, and anyone who enjoys the local beaches. These cleanups are vital every single year to keeping the ocean clean and safe for swimming. City officials are using the event to remind residents that municipal garbage service is active, and dumping large items in the riverbed, or small items for that matter, is not only illegal but a major threat to the ecosystem. And we all want to protect that. I mean, come on, stop throwing your trash in the river. With the first rains expected in just a few weeks, the city is racing to get that clear and prevent trash islands from appearing in the bay. Once again, I love that we do this every year, but I also hate that we have to do this every single year. So it's a community effort. I know it's not just an expat or immigrant problem or just a tourist problem or just a local problem. It takes everybody. So let's cheers to those folks that went out there and picked up trash. If you were one of those folks, I'd love to hear about it. That's amazing. I would love to get your firsthand view on it. Okay, really quick into national news. President Sheinbaum opens the AIFA suburban train. Now, this one's really important for you if you're someone who goes to Mexico City. My wife and I have great friends there, Jerry and Anna. If they're watching, big shout out to them. Anytime we're there, it's always such kind of a cluster, getting from the airport to where you want to go and back again, because traffic in Mexico City is a pain in the butt. So President Claudia Sheinbaum officially inaugurated the extension of the suburban train this past Sunday, April 26th. The new line connects the Buena Vista station in the heart of Mexico City directly to the Felipe Angeles International Airport. That's the AFIA airport. The government confirmed the trip now takes just 43 minutes, providing a fast and reliable alternative to the long, expensive taxi and bus rides that have previously made AIFA a difficult choice for many travelers. For tourists or expats who frequently fly through the capital, or locals or anybody else, this new connection makes AIFA much more accessible and affordable. To celebrate the opening, the train will operate with a promotional fare of only 45 pesos for the first month. Jerry and Anna, hint, hint, get on the train. Check it out. Give me a first-hand review of it, Jerry. I would love to hear your opinion. This project is a centerpiece of the country's infrastructure plan leading up to, what's everything leading up to? Of course, leading up to the 2026 World Cup. And finally linking the newer airport to the city's main public transit network. Oh, I will definitely cheers that. I'm a huge advocate of public transportation and a huge advocate of taking trains and not having to take Ubers all the time and taxis. That's going to get a double cheers. I love that, and I can't wait to check it out. And I'm hoping if anybody out there is watching from Mexico City and you need to go to the new airport or you need to get back from the new airport and you take that train, I would love to hear your report on it. Man, jam-packed Monday, y'all. You got to hear about cutting loose in Cartagena. And if you find cutting loose in Cartagena, let's share a link. Maybe share it tomorrow if you find it. And let me know what you think. Of course, my wife's an absolute angel. I'm Darth Vader. You've been prepared. But in real life, I'm not nearly bad as they edit me. What did they say? What was that movie? I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. I would remember that. Okay, that's it for today. Oh, no. One more. Oh, my gosh. We have a lot of news today. It's crazy. So much going on. All right, let me get this up. I almost missed it because I love when I get requests for stories. So, Eric, I know you're on right now, and you were the one that requested this. So you were asking about the Puerto Vallarta downhill coming up, and you were most interested in, like, what is the route and what roads might be closed. So I had to do a bit of digging. Now, this could evolve during the week, but this is what I've got for now. So if you don't know about the Puerto Vallarta downhill and freestyle 2026, Melissa, I think you're on. You were asking about this event. It officially kicks off this coming Friday. The event features 40 of the world's elite riders racing from the Sierra Madre foothills down to the ocean. So it starts on May 1st, which is Friday, and it's dedicated to official practice sessions and course reconnaissance that day, while high-stakes main competition and best trick freestyle is going to be showcased on the 2nd. Now, the 2nd is the key one. So let me show you a little map that I worked with AI this morning to put together. There it is. I'm hoping this thing is accurate. I did my best in a limited amount of time. And I am also sad we're not going to be at this event, but I'll give you more information later in the week why Laura and I are not going to be at this event, because we would 100% be there, but let's save that for another day. There's a lot going on. So the vertical track begins at Cerro de la Cruz up in the antennas, and then it winds down through the narrow alleys and steep stairways over in Gringo Gulch before hitting the finish line at El Faro Lighthouse on the Malacan. On both Friday and Saturday, expect closures on Calle Iturbide. Oh my God, that's a tough one. Calle Miramar and Calle Matamoros. The Malacan will also be heavily impacted, particularly around the lighthouse area. So if you live in the hillside neighborhoods, now I know why Eric asked, he's got a place up there, you're advised to move your vehicles by Thursday night, and access to many private garages will also be blocked during those hours. Hi, Kirsten, how are you? Better late than never. I'm almost done, but you caught me a little bit live. I love that. If y'all don't know Kirsten, Sand in My Curls. She's got an amazing blog out there and videos, and I've been just twisting her arm to come on the show one day for an interview, and maybe outing her right now would be the way to do it. Good morning, Kirsten. Looking forward to having you on the show soon. But there's the map I have right now. Again, I made this with AI this morning and created it, and hopefully this is pretty accurate, but I think in response to Eric's request, that is what you guys are looking for if you want to be down there. Okay, I'll tell you, yeah, maybe. Again, I'm going to get a more accurate map as the week goes on. Maybe the Anderson report can pull that one for me. I'll be looking forward to that. All right, we're just about at the end of the show right now. Take a moment, subscribe to the show. Please share it. Loved having you all on. I loved having the interaction today that we had. We had a little bit of, we learned about card counting, weed crackdowns, trains, House Hunters International. And then later in the week, I'll tell you a little bit more about why Laura and I are not going to be at the downhill, but it's for a good reason. Okay, with that, hang in there about 30 seconds or so. Please support my amazing sponsors. Looking forward to the Anderson Report later this week with some food reviews, with some club reviews. Thank you, Jordan, for saying great show, and thanks for the reporting, and thank you, everybody, for joining in. Now, here's the sponsors. Don't tune out because they're really important, and I need them.